Good morning to all of you. So, in today's class, we are going to cover about operating system, and that is why we need operating system. After the role of operating system, we are going to see why we need an operating system, and also we are going to discuss about shell and kernel, the two components of an operating system. So, first of all, let's see that why we need an operating system. What is the requirement of operating system? So, there are few reasons for which we need an operating system. So, those are point one is facilitate convenient access to hardware. That means by the help of operating system only we can easily and conveniently access the hardware whenever required, right? And by the help of operating system only we can communicate with the hardware of the system through which our task is done. Second point is improve efficiency of the system. It improves the efficiency also. This operating system improves the efficiency also. How it improves the efficiency also? It manages various resources of the computer like memory, it manages CPU, it manages, right, input output devices, it manages, right. So in such a way it improves efficiency of the system, right. It better knows that how much memory required for some process to be done, right. Then is it provides security of the system also. How it provides security of the system also? Because without kernel permission we cannot be able to enter into the hardware of the system. We cannot be able to enter into the computer system also, because it authenticate only selected user who are authorized to enter into, right. So that is how it provides security of the system. Then last point is it emulate features not available in hardware. So it emulate features not available in hardware. If there are some features which is done automatically by operating system, right, which is not part of the computer system hardware system, but it is automatically done by operating system, like virtual memory concept, virtual increment of memory, right, that is known as virtual memory. So whenever memory get down low and the computer start performing not well, right, then in such situation it increases the memory, it create virtual memory. What is that virtual memory concept? That means from the memory allocation, wherever the memory reside, wherever the instruction resides, process resides, so if the process which is not required for execution, it discard those processes from the memory, computer memory, right, and only those processes will be there which is going to execute. So in such a way it it creates space for other process to come into, right, and in such a way it increases the memory. That is what virtual memory means, the memory where processes are processes resides before execution. So if there are not required any process, then it deallocate them from the memory, right, and which requires only it allocate them space. In such a way it increase the memory कि फालतू का उसमें कोई भी process will not be there, right. So that is what these all four are the requirement of operating system or need of operating system. Then next is components of an operating system. What are the different components of operating system? So as I told you before that there are two components of an operating system, shell and kernel. Shell is, we can say that shell resides on upper layer of the operating system, kernel resides on the bottom layer of operating system, and both are the component of an operating system. Through shell, see, it lies outside the operating system, and kernel inside the where hardware resides, where we install the operating, say where we install the softwares, hardware, near hardware it resides, right? And in between these two, all the other layers resides, means files, devices, applications, network, input output devices, all these files which we save, documents, all those things lies within shell and kernel. Now this shell interacts with the user, with us. There are many users remain, right, working at a time on operating system. So this shell communicate with the users. That means it takes the commands, it takes the data from us, right? And then this shell takes the instruction and command from us, translate the commands by translates the commands into the machine language, and then pass this translated command to the kernel to get it done. That is what the task of shell is, right? It takes the commands or instructions from us as a user, then convert them in machine language, and then again the converted file, it pass it on to the kernel to get it done, right? Then kernel pass it on to the hardware of the system, right? CPU. So that is the task of shell. Now then is kernel. Kernel is the core component of an operating system which acts as an interface between us and hardware. Us and hardware means application and hardware also, we can say. Whatever application we are using, right, all those goes to the kernel first, and then kernel communicate with the hardware to the system to get it done. Then is types of kernel. Kernel are of two types: monolithic kernel and microkernel, right? Monolithic kernel and microkernel. So what is the difference between these two is that, first of all, when we talk about monolithic kernel, then in monolithic kernel all processes run from a single address space, right? That is why it is large and complicated. That is monolithic kernel, as the name is mono means single, right? The monolithic kernel, like what happened in Unix and Linux. And next is microkernel. In microkernel, some of the processes run in the kernel space and some of the processes run from the user space. Separately processes runs, right, from different space. All processes are kept separate and run in different address space, run from different address space, right? So that is why they become small, and it will be easy to run and install the microkernel. It is small and easy to run and install this microkernel. That what happened with Mac and Windows operating system, right? So in such situation, the advantage will be that if one server fails, then other server can still work efficiently. So that is what happens with microkernel, right? So this was the difference between monolithic and microkernel, right? So there are few tasks which it completes, kernel completes. There are few tasks which is done by the kernel, right? Those are these process management. First one is input output device management, interrupt and event handling, memory management, time management, and file system management. All this is done by kernel. So first one is process management. It manages the processes. That means it takes care of that which process to run, right? Which process is running right now, right? At the specific time, which process is coming? What is the state of the process which is running? Where to run the process from? Which address space to allocate the process? What are the different pending processes, right? So all these takes care by the kernel only. That is what process management. Then device input output management, that means it takes care of the devices. What are the devices attached to the system? Communicate with them, and also if some error comes to the devices, it handles the errors also. That means it takes care of the and manages the input output devices, right? Where the input is coming from, keyboard or mouse, right? What to fulfill, what to give, what to complete, all these it takes care of. Interrupt and event handling, it handles the interrupt also and event also it handles. What are the different events? Suppose you are clicking mouse, right, left mouse or right mouse, this is an event known as, if we are pressing any key from the keyboard, that is an event, right? So it handle the events कि भैया ये की स्ट्रोक को क्लिक किया गया है, सिग्नल को ले चलो और क्या करना है उसके लिए, राइट? Suppose you play games, right arrow, when you will press right arrow, then character goes towards the right side. So it handles the event according to the situation, according to the situations. And it handles the interrupt also. What are interrupt? It handles the interrupt also. That means it responds to the interrupt also. What is the interrupt? Suppose you are going to print the document, suddenly you felt that अरे ये तो गलत नंबर, गलत पेज को मैंने दे दिया प्रिंट करने के लिए, पेज नंबर 5 हमको नहीं करना था इसमें, ओनली आई नीड टू प्रिंट पेज 1 2 3 4 7 8 9 5 6 यू डू नॉट रिक्वायर, बेकार का प्रिंट निकलेगा और वेस्टेज जाएगा ऑफ इंक एंड पेपर. देन इन सच सिचुएशन यू विल प्रेस द कैंसिल बटन और यू विल स्विच ऑफ द प्रिंटर अगर नहीं पता ठीक से. हियर इट इज नोन एज इंटरप्ट. आपने उसको रोका, इंटरप्ट किया, राइट? दैट इज इंटरप्ट. सो इट हैंडल्स द इंटरप्ट आल्सो. व्हाट, हु हैंडल्स द इंटरप्ट? ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में कर्नल हैंडल्स द इंटरप्ट, राइट? In web also it happens. Suppose you just gave some URL, right? Suppose you are giving some URL and then you felt that अरे URL गलत है, किसी और पे जाना चाहते हो, you press the stop button, that is interrupt. So it handles the interrupt smartly. Then is memory management. Memory management means it manages the memory. If memory is low, then it tries to make it high, right? And also it manages the memory. How it manages the memory? That means it carefully use the resources, means it carefully use the memory, which memory to use where, which process to assign which memory, right? All this it decides, means allocating and deallocating of the memory, it decides कि भैया किस प्रोसेस को कौन सा मेमोरी एलोकेट करना है और किस प्रोसेस के लिए कितना मेमोरी लगेगा. ऑल इट डिसाइड्स बाय ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम. And it also keeps track of each and every memory location regardless of whether it is allocated to some process or it is free. Means it takes care of the memory कि कहाँ पर मेमोरी खाली है, कितना मेमोरी बचा है, कितना मेमोरी यूज हो रहा है, किस मेमोरी को कहाँ sorry किस मेमोरी को कहां पर यूज कर सकते हैं. All these is done by kernel only. Time management means schedule management, means it, we can say this timer management to time management also, and schedule management also. Schedule management, that means it gives fair share of time to each of the processes running, right? ऐसा नहीं कि 10 प्रोसेस रन कर रहे हैं तो पहले 3 को प्रायोरिटी पे दे रहा है, तीनों को किया कंप्लीट, फिर नो, इट विल गिव द टाइम टू ऑल द 10 प्रोसेसेस, सो सभी को कंप्लीट किया जा सके पैरेलली टाइम पे, राइट? दैट इज हाउ इट गिव्स फेयर शेयर ऑफ टाइम. how it is manages the time. It manages the time, that means it distributes the time, it gives the equal amount of time to all the processes, and it gives the time to all the processes to be done. File system, that means it organizes the file, right? It keeps record of files, folders, right? What are the different files inside the folder? How many folders are there? How many files are there? Which file is of which extension? What is the order of the file? How to show it? How user is requesting to see it? It takes care of. What is the date of modification of files? What is the size of the files? राइट अगर कंप्रेस करना है तो कंप्रेस कर देते हैं थोड़ा सा फाइल को, राइट कि वो सही सलामत रहे और कंप्रेस भी हो करे. ऑल दिस इज फाइल सिस्टम. सो ऑल दीज आर responsibility of kernel or task of kernel which is done by kernel, right? Then is functions of an operating system. What are the different functions of an operating system? So first of all is processor management. Processor management means process management actually. Functions of an operating system and jobs done by kernel or tasks done by kernel, both are lump sum same, because whatever done by operating system, that is done by kernel only. So here processor management means process management, that is done by kernel only, and here operating system it is given, so both are same. So it manages the process, right? It allocates and deallocates the process, right? So and also it takes care of the process, that which process to run and what is the state of process, which is the next process, right, in a queue, how much space require, how much space to give to some process. So all this is process management. Then memory management, that means, so whatever memory it assigned to some process, it takes care of that memory should not assign to some other process to avoid collision, right, and to complete the task smoothly. It also uses different types of memory for different tasks, different process. So here RAM and cache, it uses RAM also very smartly and cache also very smartly. So which type of data it keep inside the RAM? It keeps inside the RAM the data of current running application, and whenever it requires, it takes the data from the memory, and there are some data and instruction which it keeps in cache also. CACHE, it is pronounced cache. Very important this one is, so it can be asked, so very carefully listen about these two, right? Cache is that where frequently used instructions it keeps, right? So that is what memory management, that it also keeps the process in a different memory location. In RAM it stores current running application data, and in cache it stores those data which is required time to time, frequently which is required. The command which user is giving frequently, or the data which is used by user frequently, those type of data, or which is used by CPU frequently for calculation, those types of data it keep it in cache so that it make it available for the CPU fast. So whenever CPU requires कि भैया हमको 5 दो, तुरंत 5 दिया, अगेन 5 चाहिए, फिर 5 दे दिया, तुरंत कैश से मिल जा रहा है उसको, राइट. So the smart way is that it operating system, what it does, that it just evaluate that what are the different instructions are used by CPU frequently, what are the data which is frequently used by CPU, then it loads those data in cache only from the RAM, and this is how it works. So that is memory management, right? So it keeps record of key. If it has assigned some memory allocation to some process, then that it will not assign to some other process, and also it stores the data in a specific memory. Then is device management. It manages the device, all input output devices it manages, right? And then file management system. File management, as I told you, that it all takes care of, it keeps the record of it organizes the file, it keeps record, it manages the copy, paste, cut, delete, create folder, files, all these it keeps record, it keeps manage of, it manages the thing, right? That is file management. Security, that means it gives the security to the computer system by giving authority to specific person only to get inside the computer. That is security, right? Then is error detection. It detects the error and handles it also. It detects the error. If any error comes in a computer system, then it detects the error and handle it also carefully, right? That error can be of anything, right? Software error or some outside or error coming from the virus or some other malware, it takes care of. Job scheduling, it schedule the job, that means it divide the time among the processes, and it gives fair share of time to all the processes, so that all the processes should parallelly run and complete, right? So it gives divide fair share of time for all the processes, right? And if some process finished their execution, then it remove them from the memory and then take some other process along with the previous process which is still running. So that is job scheduling. After job scheduling, one more is there. It provides user interface also. It provides user interface, that means through which we can communicate with the hardware of the system. We as a user communicate with the hardware of the system. That is, it provides user interface also. That's it. So this is only for today's class, and in the next class we again proceed further. So that's all for today lesson. So keep revising and keep updating yourself. Have a nice day. Thank you.